Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, neighbor. I'm Shannon Williams Hughes of the Wellness Collective. I am so happy to be here. Generally, I want to first hold space and acknowledge my family, my beautiful in-laws, my husband, as we are grieving and celebrating the life of their matriarch, Pearl Jane Hilton Hughes. We celebrated her life this weekend, and it was so beautiful. But just wanted to hold space for my family in this way, in this moment. Shout out to my husband, to my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and all the in-laws. They're such a beautiful family, just a huge, tight-knit family with so much history and foundation that I'm very impressed with. That I think is just very beautiful, and honestly, is one of the places that I pull from when I think about community. Their family is that. So shout out to the family, shout out to our family, and shout out to Grandma Pearl. So good evening. So I am trying to keep my word with being more present, invisible. Admittedly, it's not my space. Although, it's not like I'm not visible, and I haven't been in the past. But quite frankly, I don't like to be. I like to be the worker bee in the background, and I recognize that that can't always be the case. So, what's up, y'all? Chilling with you tonight, and moving forward, you'll see me on Wednesdays, myself and our friends and other family members from the Wellness Collective. You'll see me popping in on Wednesdays to say what's up. So just a little bit about Wellness Wednesday. We did this a little while ago, but needed to take some space and think about, well, what is the space help for? And also, like, what is the capacity for it? I think it's important to know what the intentions are behind a thing, because I think the intentions are what fuels it. And so, took some time just first of all to let life collect itself. We have a lot going on, and I'll get into a little bit of that. And as we continue to move forward, you'll learn more and more about what that a lot has been. But yeah, I wanted to take some time to figure out what is our space here, what is our intention, like how are we showing up in our community with you all, but also working on the things so that we have something to show and prove for and to talk about. Like I ain't calling you on the phone for no reason, so wanted to make sure we have some things that are substantive. So Wellness Wednesdays are really just a space for us to connect, on a regular basis, so you all can see what we have going on, so I can hear from you all as well. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, shout outs, any of those things, that we can do that and have a dedicated space for that to happen. So here we are. So I'm only going to do a quick overview on today. This isn't going to be a long one, because this is really just an introduction of like, hey, we here, what's up, type deal. So the first thing I want to just make a note of is our mental wellness speed dating. You know it, you love it. It's a beautiful space. I just wanted to shout out, the folks that we'll be partnering with for our next iterations of mental wellness speed dating. We actually have two back to back, so we'll be posting about those here shortly. The first is going to be on July 6th. This is a virtual event, as typical, but this one is going to be focused on postpartum mothers and mothers generally. We are in partnership with Kangaroo Doula and Maternity Concierge Company, and Sarita Gordon is she's such an amazing person, and we're actually going to have her on next Wellness Wednesday, so she can talk a lot more about what it is that they do. And so I'm not going to say too much more, because I know they have some beautiful things coming up, and I don't want to spill nobody's beans. However, our mental wellness speed dating on the Kangaroo Doula Services, maternity concierge services, and focused on mothers, new and expecting mothers. Because we recognize that mental health is a very real thing when we're talking about motherhood. And as a new mother, my little baby, little mama, she is 2 years old, and every day I'm learning something new. And every day I'm like, man, like that's my kid, that's not my little sister. I can't come. My mama said, "Come get your kid." But it's such a beautiful thing. But if I'm being real, it's a scary thing too. Like it's been a lot. It's been a learning curve. But there's so many different changes that you don't no one prepares you for. No one prepares you for, and if your changes are exceed outside of what's normal, like what's to be expected, with motherhood, like then that can definitely knock you out the box. Even the things that are typical, like those things can knock you clear out the box. And if you don't know what's happening to your body, to your brain, to your relationships around you, like all of the things that just come into play, your whole systems come into the play. It can be really, really difficult. So we thought it best to connect with a service that is very intentional about loving on mothers, especially when this is their go at it, and they're in the thick of things. And so our practitioners are very much new and expecting mothers in general, when there's a need for that specific relationship, that specific support. So that'll be July 6th. Again, that one is virtual. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And though we are partnering with Kangaroo Doula Maternity Concierge Services, and if I'm saying it backwards, it's because it's my brain. So it's charged to my head, not my heart. Um, though we are partnering with this particular organization, any mother who is seeking support, and would like to get connected with some sort of mental health practitioner or mental wellness practitioner, feel free to jump in. So we'll be sharing that link here soon as well. So that'll be on July 6th. On July 7th, directly after, we are again and again, we're back with Royally Fit. Shout out to my beautiful friend, Queen Watkins Wise. She is a beautiful, beautiful person. Her organization is so meaningful. And if you are not someone who does well with holding space for yourself, for loving on yourself and giving yourself the space to just regenerate, you really want to get tapped in with Royally Fit. All of the things that she offers, from her products to her classes to her wellness retreats. She takes the women's all out of the country over to Puerto Rico, and just to just like I am also, and this is how I know, like, sis, I feel you, because I myself have been trying to find the time to attend a retreat. And I know that's a thing that I need to work through my own self. Like, so what does that mean? Like, being, especially Black women, but women generally, right? Like, we all are wearing the capes. Like, when do we take it off? When do we prioritize time for ourselves? Like, when's the last time you actually had some space for yourself? Like, and not a vacation for the family where you are running point for everybody and the kids' schedule and your schedule, and this is the travel plans and this. Now, what is it for you, mama? Baby, I don't have an answer myself. So if you are like me, I feel you, girl. But and everyone in between as well. I know that's not just a woman's thing, but it is a unique and particular thing when we're experiencing it. So on July 7th, we'll be partnering. This one is in person, as it typically is. So we've been partnering with Royally Fit for the past 3 years. I believe at this point we've had our practitioners, shout out to our beautiful practitioners who have shown up in person to do a mini mental wellness speed dating. The matches that have come out of it, the matches that have come out of mental wellness speed dating overall have been largely very beautiful. Still going strong, or been very, very generative in what the needs were. And so we're hoping to also bring that to you all again. So if you are around Royally Fit, it'll be held at the Sherwood Event Center in Wilkinsburg. Beautiful center. I've been there for the first time, admittedly. What was this? 2 weeks now? 2 weeks ago. I was actually keynoting for New Sun Rising. I was a keynote speaker for one of their cohorts that just completed. And it's a beautiful space. It was a beautiful space. And shout out to New Sun Rising. That's an amazing organization as well. Pittsburgh is just full of amazing stuff, honestly. Um, yeah, that's where the mini wellness retreat for Royally Fit will be held. And so if you want to take some time to just love on yourself, get some good, product and service and understanding and just like connection, if you are looking for your next mental health practitioner guide. Like you'll be able to have that experience at the mini wellness retreat with Royally Fit on July 7th. That is between 12 p.m. noon to 5 p.m. So you have a wide berth. Definitely come check us out. Again, a few of our practitioners will be there. So there's a mini mental wellness speed dating. Again, we've done this, I believe this is year 3 with Royally Fit. So definitely come through and check us out and check out our practitioners and say what's up. So that is that on mental wellness speed dating for now. I'll say more on that next week. Again, we're going to have our partner in change next week with us, Miss Sarita. So we'll talk about it a little bit more then, and hopefully maybe I can get my girl Queen on too. We'll see. So if you're watching the Queen, check me out. So that'll be that on mental wellness speed dating. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, I'm just going to mention, as some of you might know, we are in process of launching our By Any Beans Necessary mobile cafe and market. This is the centerpiece to all the Wellness Collective things. I'm so excited. They are beautiful. And do I have a treat for you on today? But just want to talk a little bit about them as I have been, and you'll see me and us talking more and more about them as we continue forward. But our by Any Beans Necessary mobile cafe and market, if you don't know, this is our social enterprise for our membership, right? Like, so firstly, so it's in think of like, a food truck, like a coffee truck, except the difference is that you can come on board to this mobile lounge and have your coffee and hang out and get out of the hot heat, and the heat been hot. Like, get on out the hot heat sun. Be up under this good air conditioner, listen to some music, catch a vibe, chit chat with some folks, and have a good old time while you get your caffeine fix, or your wellness lemonade, or your iced tea, or your ice cold water, whatever it is. In the wintertime, your hot coffee, or your hot cocoa, whatever your flavor might be. Get up under this heat, like whatever it is that you need, because it is. These things are fully contained. They're beautiful. They have heating and cooling, as I just mentioned. They have their own bathrooms on board, so no, porta potty situation when we are popping up at events. No, trying to get into a restaurant or a business and hoping that they don't kick you out or block you from getting into the bathroom. We got it on board. Learn about the Wellness Collective, learn about our partners who will be on board with us. I'll talk again more and more about what does that mean, our micro residency programs, etc. But yeah, all of these beautiful, magnificent opportunities through the mobile lounges. Now, as as I said, as far as like this is an opportunity for us to support our members, is because that's truly what it is. And so the Wellness Collective, I want y'all to really think about the Wellness Collective as a community, because that's what it is. That's the intention of it. And when I say community, I mean that structurally, I mean that systemically. Like, what does it mean to be in community? It's not just bodies existing, in proximity to each other, but it's bodies existing in proximity to whatever degree that means, but also functioning as a system. Like, this little cog impacts this little cog, and so on and so forth. And why that's so important is that it's because, first of all, we're communal animals. Like, we need each other to survive. And I don't know if you notice, but I absolutely noticed that it's really, really difficult to be in community with one another. And the more difficult that becomes to be in community with one another, the more difficult it becomes to survive. Many of us are having really, really tough times. And a lot of that has to do with like the prices of everything, like skyrocketing with shout out to gentrification, like, folks being completely housing unstable due to like, housing stock being swept up by developers, people being like, mass evicted from their homes, like all the things that are coming into play, schools being destabilized, et cetera, et cetera. I ain't gonna go down my rabbit hole too much today. But you get my point though, right? Like, and what we typically have is, when we're talking about resilience in these moments, is each other. And right now, and every second that we move forward, it's like it becomes harder and harder to be in relationship with one another. So the Wellness Collective is absolutely with intention of being a community in a truest sense of structurally and systemically. Like, how are we supporting each other? How are we loving one another? How are we communicating with one another? And so the market. So as we embark on launching these cafes, and we're slinging coffee and iced tea and wellness lemonade, etc., the revenue for the cafe part goes directly into our mutual aid bucket. And so let me say right here, if you are not a member of the Wellness Collective yet, I highly recommend that you become a member today. Not when you need it, not when your peoples need it, like today. And the reason is for one, there the caveat of receiving support from the Wellness Collective is that you have to be a member or you have to be sponsored by a member. And that sponsorship comes with criteria. And the reason of that is that we're not charity, like, so there's a difference between mutual aid and charity. And I know we tend to conflate them a lot because charity is what we're familiar with, mutual aid is not. And so, but they are very different things, even though they can look very similar on the surface. Charity is a function of capitalism. It's very, like, hand to mouth. Like, there is a need, so here from this system, that you're given this support in this very, like, specific way. And that's pretty much it. It's very transactional. Like, it has its place in our because it's not sustainable, and not only is it not sustainable, it's not actually doing the thing that we all want it to do, which is getting folks out of the crisis. And I mean that on a root level, not on a surface level. Charity just doesn't do that. It's not meant to do that. And so, which is why we went for a mutual aid model, because mutual aid very much does that. And what mutual aid essentially means is that everyone, a part of whatever the designated community is, everyone pitches in a little bit. So if you think of like a stew, you know, if everybody is coming and bringing their ingredients to the stew, I might only have carrots and you might only have potatoes, like, and auntie might only have beef stock, and such and such only got tomatoes, et cetera, et cetera. And individually, that's not making a meal for nobody, But if we're all putting in a little bit of our ingredients into the stew, it ain't got to be all the ingredients like that we have. It ain't got to be all my carrots. Ain't got to be all your potatoes, but just some. I'm gonna toss in a few carrots. Toss in a few potatoes, et cetera, et cetera. And now we got a whole meal for everybody. Now everybody's eating. That's essentially what mutual aid is. It's all of us pitching in a little bit so that all of us have what we need when we need it. So that we're all fed, we're all stable, we're all housed, like we're all safe. All of our kids are educated, and so on and so on. To that model because it's sustainable and it's very people centered. So to that, again, in order for that to work, it takes for everyone to pour in a little bit, you know. And so what we cannot do, and we receive requests all the time, and I'm very sorry to anyone who has reached out with a need, or was referred to us with a need. Sometimes I can make some things shake if I'm able to sponsor as an individual myself, or if we have someone, if it's a member who is referring you, if they are able to sponsor, we can make some things shake sometimes. But you do have to be a member. And in those moments where we can't make things shake, that's because, like, you're not actually connected to our network. And it would not be fair to the folks who are a part of our network, who are pouring in, to then not have the resource available to them because it's been used by folks who are not actually contributing to the community, not committed to the community. So this is why I say, like, if you are not a member yet, I highly recommend that you become a member, especially as I start to get into like what these member benefits are. But let's jump back to the buy any beans for the moment being. So so the revenue that we're generating will be generating for the mobile cafe and market will go directly into the mutual aid bucket. So not only are our folks, our neighbors, being supported by the membership dues, and our dues are very low. Like they start at $8 a month. That is our to upgrade it for some other additional perks and whatnot. But generally speaking, that $8 a month buys you a whole lot, baby. Like buys you a whole lot, you know. So you know, our members pay in their $8 a month, but also like we're out here working. So the By Any Means Necessary mobile cafe, not only is it, you know, a really cool way to communicate, to connect with community, etc., but it's also a business that's owned by the community. Like that's pretty much where it stacks up. Like because again, like the revenue that is generated by the mobile cafes goes directly to our membership, goes to investing in our community as we move forward to see a future that we're all envisioning, right? Like, and by the way, everyone has who is a member has the ability to vote, to offer suggestion, offer, you know, their thoughts on like what direction we should grow into, because that's the mutual part of it. So there's that on the cafe side. Now I'm sure you noticed that it's cafe and market. I haven't spoken too much on this, outwardly, but I'll tell y'all because we friends. Um, the market part is very much now. If you're from Pittsburgh, and if you're from Black Pittsburgh, I'm sure you're familiar with the store buses that used to be in our different communities. I grew up on them. Anyone that I know who is actually from Pittsburgh, like we all either grew up with them or were aware of them. You know, folks aged up, and that was that. And so they've been gone for quite a bit. Now I know John Nickel has their mobile market as well, which I think is beautiful. So what we are doing, what's been our intention, and quite frankly, it's just been a buzz, is to bring back, like to a degree, in a way, the store buses in neighborhoods that are qualified or classified as food deserts, you know. And so the mobile cafes themselves, like they're not function to be like a just a grocer. So what we have situated is that folks can order their groceries online, and then whenever we're in their community, whatever our set schedule, we'll deliver their groceries on that day. They can either come down to the mobile market, or we can do doorstop delivery, depending on the circumstances. But that's a way, again, just thinking about like we have these great assets, like we have this opportunity to just post up in our community and say what's up, and for community members to come and just hang out and be a part of, you know, and be in space. What else can we do? Like, you know, and so being able to connect with, and so the intention is to connect with, vendors who are local, from the fresh produce, from the butcher, and then other products like, you know, hair care, skin care, baby products, et cetera, et cetera. The goal is to make them local, but also, and a little bit more importantly, the goal only for the things that are needing to be paid for, but also thinking about connecting with our local food pantries as well, especially the ones that who have a little bit more to give, you know. And so for our neighbors who have barriers, financial barriers, logistical barriers, whatever the things are, we want to make sure that we are, again, like how are we showing up in our communities? Like, you know, like we ain't just here just to be here. So how do we make this work? So we'll be talking more on the market part as we continue forward. But now, since I got you and since I'm here, let me just show you the markets themselves. So I'm actually sitting in one of the markets, and so just got it here just because I can. So let's see. So here is our beautiful, beautiful market. That is the counter where the espresso machines and lemonade machines, etc., will hang out. I just got coolers there now because was just giving out some lemonade, or intention to give out lemonade and say what's up to the community. But that's where the things will happen. You see, they have the little refrigerator here. This is the loungy part, so where folks can hang out, be in community, listen to some music, catch some vibes. And then back here, you'll see our kiosk. And so this is, folks can hop on. They can connect our partners who are on board. They can connect with us. They can sign up for the Wellness Collective directly from here. We'll have some good information and just like general stuff planned on the screen there, um, for the good folks. And yeah, so that is our little humble abode. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, and you really got to see these things in person. Like you really just got to see them in person because the pictures. I know, like you might have seen the pictures online, and this little mini tour, it doesn't do it justice. So you definitely got to see them in person. I'll be, announcing some little pop-ups, as time goes on. So you'll have an opportunity to tour them, to check them out, to hang out, to again learn more about the Wellness Collective, what we got going on, our partners, what they got going on. But definitely check it out, because I'm telling you, baby, when you see it in person, it's something else. So that's by any means, baby. And so, yeah, I think I'm gonna let that be that for today. If you are interested in learning more about the Wellness Collective or joining, you can email us at a hi neighbor at thewellfolk.org. Um, and or you can go and see us directly on our website at thewellfolk.org/join, and check us out there, and yeah, just here we go. Yeah, you can hop on if you are ready to join. You can hop on and become a part of the community directly right there. Like I said, our membership dues are super low. They're only do I believe I know to be a fact. It doesn't take it doesn't take for us to pour in a whole lot of money to make an impact. Like that's factually untrue. Like, and we've proven it over and over again. And when I say we, I don't mean just the Wellness Collective. I mean that collectively throughout history. It doesn't, right? Like again, if we all putting our little bit of ingredient, if you are interested in joining. And before I cut out, I am going to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of being a member. Now, when I say some, I do mean some, because I've been on here for a minute running my mouth, and I think I'm good for now. I think it's been long enough. But some of the membership benefits are, of course, access to the mutual aid. So in mutual aid is like when you have a need and when it's, things are going on, or you have this opportunity, but there is this barrier here, and that opportunity has the potential to change the trajectory of your life. You can request support from the mutual aid pot, like from your community. So there is that. We also have a legal support booster as well. So if you are needing legal support for whatever the circumstances are, finding legal is really, really difficult. Knowing how to like navigate those avenues is really, really difficult. So not only do we have just like some general support as far as being able to direct you to like the right court, the right forms to use, et cetera, et cetera. We actually have a lawyer Wednesday, so he can tell you a little bit about himself as well. But he'll pop on. But we have him secured as well, who will provide legal consultation. And that's how we keep the cost really, really low. And when I say the cost really, really low, I don't mean that for our members. I mean that for the Wellness Collective. And so you'll receive that as a member. You'll receive that support completely free. And for the collective, like it's at an extremely, discounted rate. That way we can afford it and make sure that we're able to function without being depleted of all the resources, while also making sure our neighbors have what we need. So many folks get, like lives are decided just because they don't know like what to do or what to expect when like legal things come up. So we have that, our legal booster. We also have access to a number of different memberships. So, we've been a standing member, a referral partner for Off the Floor. Shout out to them. They provide free furniture for families who need, but it does require a referral from one of their partners, and we are one of them. We've been a partner of theirs for the past 3 years, I want to say. And we've been able to utilize that resource for our neighbors over the time as well. So that is a resource that we have internally. We're also a referral partner for Footbridge for Family. Shout out to them as well. Beautiful work that she is doing there and cultivating. And so it's great to be in network. And then there's some other ones that that we're cultivating as well. But we generally are intentional about looking at like what are some good like membership communities that we as a collective can be a part of. So, for example, we have another avenue for our members is our entrepreneur peer support space. And so, not only will that be an opportunity for entrepreneurs, especially first generation entrepreneurs, to connect in a safe space with each other, you know, prospecting. I'm considering this, but I'm not sure where to go. Because it's great. I think it's great to that we have like these different organizations that have like cohorts or whatever, but the cohorts are so small, like comparatively, like, and then also like this isn't what that is. you know, these are the steps of opening a business, et cetera, et cetera. There are some nuances to being a business owner. First of all, having a community is really, really important, as we know. Having mentorship is really important, as we know. But if you don't have the network, then you ain't got it. But also, like, just like having the emotional support, having people to bounce off of, like, this is what I'm experiencing, and to be able to have someone else say, like, oh, I've been through that. This is what I did, how I got out. All of these resources that first of all are vetted vetted resources for our members to have access to just off rip. So when you're a member of that particular that booster, that space, you'll have access to the resources that are just like free and accessible. There'll be workshops made available if folks would like to, like have some direction, some guidance, a little bit more, how tos in the different areas, and then some other things that I'll be mentioning sometime down the road that are going to be exciting as well. Um, but I think I feel good on that. So I will pause on that. Like I said, those are just some of the member benefits to joining the Wellness Collective. Like I said, like being a member means that you have access to mutual aid. Again, you don't want to wait until you actually have a need to call us, because when you have a need, that's actually too late, and you can't join the same day in the request support. There's actually a 6-month vesting period, because again, like, because we're not charity, we cannot have the resources that are being poured in like by everyone else. Like, everyone's pouring in their ingredients to have someone swoop in, take a big old pot of stew, and then walk off, and nobody else can eat. So it is important that you become a member, or your folks become members like ASAP. Even if you're not someone who is typically up against the wall like that, but if you are, again, like, you would either have to be a member or you can be sponsored by a member. If you are not someone who is typically up against the wall, but you want to sponsor someone, like you want to make sure that the people around you are good, then again, I recommend that you join. That way, if you have someone in your network that has a need, versus rather than you taking advantage of your member benefit, you can, pass that on to somebody in your community that you can vouch for. So um, that's that. So our mutual aid, our legal support, and our entrepreneurial support are just some of the ways that we're in support of our community, that we're building out this community, along with our member benefits like Off the Floor, like Footbridge for families. Definitely like valuable resources in and of themselves. And I'm just scratching the surface. It's been a long time building out this space. Still building it out, and again with so much intention and love, and I see the vision. I see what we can do, what we can be as a community, and what we can get back to in some ways, and what we can get away from in other ways. So again, if you're interested in joining, feel free to hit that link, thewellfolk.org/join. If you are interested or want to learn more about the organization, like the member benefits, et cetera, feel free to send us an email at hineighbor@thewellfolk.org. We'll be back next week with our good friend Sarita Gordon to talk about like the work that she's doing, but also the mental wellness speed dating and the importance of mental health and support and communal support when you are a mother. But until next time, I appreciate y'all, and I hope everyone's having a good day. Later.